センター自体のトレーニングだな。かなりでもあるな。
Welcome to Train Sim World, an immersive and highly detailed rail simulation featuring authentic routes and trains from around the world. This is the training center. Here you can learn about how to navigate and interact with the world, as well as how to operate the many trains. Let's start by looking around. Find each of the markers and look at them.
これはもうおなじみやな。
Your current objective is shown at the top left of the screen. Walk to the blue marker to complete the current objective.
逆になってる。動きまくり。どれやったっけ？動きまくりやっちゅうて。勝手に動くパターンやな。これはやっとかなあかんな。あれ？また逆になってんの。これか。
You've been awarded some action points. These are displayed in the top right corner of the screen and count towards your overall experience level for the game. This is one of the many types of route tasks to be discovered. Keep an eye out for many more types and styles of route tasks, which can involve placing, collecting, or fixing a variety of things. Head into the main building, and you'll continue your induction there. You can pause Train Sim World at any point to review objectives and a lot of other information about what's happening at the moment. Try it now, and then return to the game after you've had a look around. Now that we've covered some of the basics of moving around and interacting with the environment, let's take a walk through the building and find the trains. This is Central Square. From here, you can explore the main training center depot and surrounding yards.
意外とまた広いんよね、これ。特大のセンターやな。
Your journey operating trains is just getting started here in the training center. Remember, you can always come back here from the main menu to refresh your knowledge if you're unsure about anything. Continue to learn and other training modules here in the training center, and then you'll be ready to take on more challenges in other environments.
わお、これで終わり。意外とあっさり。お、プラチナ入ったか。これでもこれでいいんやったっけな。多分いけるはずやけど。ああ、ここまで戻されるか。あれ、これじゃなくて、これか。ああ、いけてたか。
This module will cover the on-screen overlay, known as the heads-up display or HUD, that is shown when you are in control of a train. Climb up the ladder into the train and then sit in the indicated seat.
すでに空いてるやん。よいしょ。表示が出んぞ。表示が出んぞ。よいしょ。あれ？閉めるあれが。閉められへんのこれ。まあ、いっか。
Welcome to the most important seat in the train. While sitting here, you'll be in full control. Before you think about moving the train, though, let's look at the HUD overlay that's appeared on the bottom right. The heads-up display is a guide to what your train is doing. The main part of the HUD is the speed display. A white bar will appear around the outside to show your current speed, and the red mark indicates your maximum permitted speed. This is the direction display. An arrow will indicate forward, reverse, and neutral
いや、
directions.
12時にやるつもりやったんですけど、押しても起動できんくてね、なんかおかしいんかな思ったんですけど、なんか見たら、4版をダウンロードしとったみたいで、5版がなんか、ダウンロードできてなかったみたいなんですよ。
A number will indicate what position the power or throttle
で、ま
control is in.
た5版をインストールしとったんですけど、だいぶ遅れましたね。
These are the brake indicators. The exact ones shown will vary by train and will often be visible in the train itself on various gauges. They tell you what's happening in the braking system. The most important one is the BC or brake cylinder. If that's reading 0, then your brakes are released. Anything else, and brakes are applied and you won't be able to move.
一瞬、なんか不具合かなと思ったんですけど。
Every train can have small variations in the HUD unique to the way it works, but they will mostly look the same. As you learn to control new trains, study the HUD and learn how it helps you operate it. If you want to see this again, you can rerun this training module at any time.
結構細々とこの練習というか入ってますけど、前なかったんちゃいますかね、ここまで。かなり細々と。
In this training module, you're going to look at making the train move and then bringing it to a stop again. While many trains have different controls and are operated in different ways, there are basically always 3 controls that are common and are required to move the train. The reverser, sets the direction between forwards and backwards. The brakes are used to slow or stop the train. The throttle controls how fast the train accelerates. In this train, the throttle and brakes are controlled by a combined power and brake handle. We want to move the train forwards, so move the reverser to that position.
これも結構書いてくれとるからわかるっちゃわかるんですけどね。これ合わせてやってもいいし、このまま十字キーでやるのもありなんですけどね。
Pull the power brake handle toward you to release the brakes and apply power.
おー、来た。この車両でも初めてですね。なんかこの運転席初めて見たんですけど。この河川とかもほんまリアルですよね。ごじゃごじゃした河川が。
Now that you've reached your target speed, you can move the throttle control back to 0. The train will then coast on level ground, and the train will only slow down very gradually.
これでも初めてやっとったら相当手こずるでしょうね。もうずっとやってるからこれスムーズにやれてますけど。完全初見やったら相当手こずると思いますよ。
While the specifics of operating brakes vary from train to train, the basic process of stopping is fundamentally the same. Bring this train to a complete stop by moving the power brake handle into the braking range. The amount of braking you'll need to apply also varies depending on whether you're going uphill or downhill, and how heavy your train is. Stopping a train is one of the biggest challenges of controlling them, particularly stopping them in the right place. That concludes this module. Restart the module to learn the steps again, or move on to the next module.
まあまあ、この辺は、今回からこの評価のあれにプラチナが入ってるみたいなんですよ。前までなかったんですけどね。前は金、銀、銅で評価されとったんですけど。それが分かってたらもう言うことないんですけどね。まあ、外人さんやったら、なんか、普通の会話やと思うんですけど。
In this training module, you'll be learning basic passenger operations in a BR Class 323 electrical multiple unit. When you are ready, climb aboard the train. Take a seat in the driver's position.
よいしょ。自動
To
で
unlock
閉ま
the
った。
control desk, insert the master key.
まあ、この辺の車両はもうね、やってるから。 あれなんかこれ、入れられへんのかな。あ、いったいった。
Great work. To allow passengers to board, you will need to open the doors. Keep the doors open to allow enough time for passengers to board the train.
これもボタンを押して開けてもいいし、十字キー左でも開くんですけどね。でゲージが溜まったらまた閉めるっていう。
Now that the passengers have boarded the train, close the doors. Set the reverser to forward.
これであとは前進に切り替えて、
Apply power to get moving.
でブレーキを緩めて、
This train has a combined brake and throttle handle. Apply a small amount of brake to gently bring the train to a stop at the next station.
700メーター。あれ、でもこれ、あれかな。あれ、カメラの切り替えができへんかな。操作変わったんすかね。まだ練習やからあかんのか。右スティック押し込んだら、外カメラになるはずなんですけど、反応がないですね。あなたあなた。でもまあ、リアルっちゃリアルですよね。全くこの、滲みもなく、めちゃくちゃ綺麗ですね。過去一番綺麗ちゃいますかね、やっぱ。よいしょ。
Good work. This time, open the doors on the opposite side. Close the doors. Reach the next destination unguided.
よっしゃ。で、次の駅で。 このまたエンジン音のね、あれもリアルなんですよ。まあ、意外とこの綺麗な風景でもあるんですけど。ね、ここの研修センターめちゃくちゃ広いんですよ。広大な敷地に車両の訓練場みたいになってるんで。ほんまに建物が少ないですからね。なんかアクセルが R2 で、ブレーキが R1 って覚えとったら、あとは調整しながら、うーん。
Great job. That concludes training on passenger operations.
グラデュエイト。着々とレベルが上がってきましたね。これまたプラチナメダルで。でもより細かくこの評価されてんすね、これ。前こんなんなかったですもんね。チェンジングパス。
This module will go over the fundamentals of operating junctions to change the path your train will take, and how to navigate using the map. Most rail lines around the world are controlled remotely by a signaling center or dispatcher. From the perspective of the train, the direction taken is automatic. But within yards and depots, many small and frequent movements are required. This makes remote control of the track impractical. In these locations, the direction taken is manually controlled. You can set junctions by either
こ
walking
れ
up
も
to them and
自動
interacting with them,
でや
or
るパ
going
タ
to
ーン
the
と
2D
手動
map
でやる
and
パター
changing
ン
them
がある
from
んです
there.
よ。これはなん
Let's
か
change this junction by
手動
hand
のやり
first.
方ですけどね。
Walk over to it and change it by operating the lever. Notice how the point blades move on the track. Try moving it a few times so that you can see how it works.
ここに立ってる割に、こっち向きなのかも。 の辺のなんか反応がもう一つあれですけど、あれ触られへんの？場所はここって書いてんすけど、その割に反応がないんですけどね。切り替わらんか。あれしゃがむわけでもなく。それか、これかな。マップでやらなあかんかな。まあ、これでもできると思うんですけど、マップ開いて、拡大して、ここの線路に合わせて、で、この、×ボタンを押したらまた変わるんですよ。これも触ってもできるはずなんですけど、なんか触れないですね。バグってるんかな。出ないっすよね。マップでやった方が早いです。
Let's head over to the train, and then we can look at the map.
ああ、今度乗れと。
Open the map and change the indicated junctions.
なんか出んかったですね。えーっと、マップを広げろと。で、まあ自分でこれで合わせながら、行くところに調整する感じですね。
Your junctions are set correctly. Let's get the train moving and see it all working. If you can't remember how to make the train start and stop, there is a training module you can rerun to remind yourself. We want to move the train forwards, so move the reverser to that position.
まあ、バグもありますからね。
Now that you've reached your target speed, you can move the throttle control back to 0. The train will then coast on level ground, and the train will only slow down very gradually. Bring this train to a complete stop by moving the power brake handle into the braking range.
もう止めていいんすかね。こんな真ん中で止めるという。
That concludes this module. All the junctions in the training center are manual, so you can go anywhere you wish using the map and by changing junctions manually. If you want to practice, go to Explore on Foot in the training center. You'll find trains dotted around, and you can practice driving them and moving them around the yard. Don't forget, you can always rerun this training module later if you can't remember any of what's been covered.
おー。 ああ、これもなんとか、プラチナで。コントローラーがね、ちょっと、勝手に動くんですよ。多分、格ゲーとかやってるから、
In this training module,
コン
you're
トロー
going
ラー
to
がちょっ
learn to
と
drive
傷ん
a
できてます
diesel-electric
ね。
locomotive and how the controls differ from a multiple unit. This is a BR Class 66 diesel-electric locomotive,
これまた
typically
古い
used
車
for
両
freight
で、
operations in the United Kingdom. The reverser sets the direction between forwards and backwards. There are 3 types of brakes in this locomotive, and which one you use will depend on the
3つの
situation.
ブレーキがあ
We'll
ると。
learn more about the different brake types in future training modules. The throttle controls how fast the train accelerates. We want to move the train forwards, so move the reverser in that direction. Keep the brake control and release until you can see the brake pipe control needles are reading 5 bar, pointing upwards. This will release the brakes fully. Watch the brake cylinder, or BC gauge, to see it gradually reduce to 0, which tells you that the brakes are now fully released and you can move the train. Apply some throttle to get the train moving. As you apply power, notice the amp bar rising. This is the amount of power being fed into the traction motors.
うーん。まあ、丁寧に説明はしてくれてるんですけど、わ
Now
から
that
な
you've
いっ
reached
て。
your target speed, you can move the throttle control back to 0.
あ
The
あ、
train
早い
will
早
then
い早い
coast on
早い。
level ground, and the train will only slow down very gradually.
わあ、かなり早いですね。
Brakes in this locomotive are lapped. Rather than directly selecting the brake force with a handle, you use the brake control to add or release braking force. Braking force will be held until you release it, as you did before setting off. Bring this train to a complete stop by holding the brake control in the apply state until you see the brake pipe control needle in the center of your cab desk showing about 4 bar. The amount of braking you'll need to apply also varies depending on whether you're going uphill or downhill, and how heavy your train is.
うーん、このタイプもちょっと変わったブレーキですね。
Stopping a train is one of the biggest challenges of controlling them, particularly stopping them in the right place. That concludes this module. Restart the module to learn the steps again, or move on to the next module.
まあ、終わった。ああ、次あの車両ですね。これ確か蒸気機関の車両ですよ。スチームって書いてるから。
In this training module, you'll be learning the basics of
こ
operating
の
a
ま
steam
た
locomotive.
蒸気機関もリアルなんですよ。
You'll be driving the Stania Class 8F steam locomotive. When you're ready, climb onto the footplate.
石炭は入れていかなダメなんですよ。
Sit in the driver's position.
これどっから乗るんや、これ。こ こんなとこ乗れるんですかね。違う場所があるんかな。あれこんな横から乗れるんですかこれ。乗りなさいとは書いてんすけど、どっから乗るのやってる。こんなとこ、こんなとこ登れるんですかこれでも、これやっとったら、これで開くんか。これで乗れますわ。で、この折りたたみの椅子を広げて。
Let's prepare the locomotive for departure. Set the reverser to full forward position. You'll need all available power
結
when
構
setting
この
off.
ね、蒸気機関の運転が難しいんですよ。75%。フォワード75。あれこれじゃないからね。あ、いったいった。
This locomotive has a combination brake that controls both steam and vacuum brakes. Steam brakes will apply on just the locomotive. Vacuum brakes will apply to the rest of the train, so long as it's equipped with vacuum brakes. The brakes are released when a vacuum is created. The driver can use the brake handle to destroy the vacuum, which will start to apply the brakes. To create a vacuum, you
結
should
構ね、
use the
こ
ejectors.
れ、触るとこが多いんですよ。フリーオープンをやらなあかん。なかなかでもこれ、触りにくいな。動いてるのかな。音はね、あれこれで合ってるんかな。なんかちゃいますね。ああ、違うやつかな、これ。違うやつかな。これじゃないんすよね。表記がでもあの上なんすけど。スモールエジェクターか。触られへんしね。なんで触られへんのこれ。いけてるんかな。あ、これか。あ、動いた。
The
これ
small
じゃない。
ejector should be left open when the train is running. The large ejector can be used to more quickly increase the vacuum after
こ
coupling
の
or
上
heavy
のあれ
braking.
やったみたいですね。
Open the cylinder cocks to remove any water from the cylinders after the locomotive has been left standing. Water in the cylinders can damage the locomotive as it does not compress like steam.
で、ブレーキを解除。
The regulator acts like the throttle for steam locomotives.
このま
It controls how
た、
much steam is delivered into the cylinders.
グレー
Applying
の
too
なんか
much
パイプ
power
み
too
たいなのあ
early
げな。
can cause wheel slip, so increase it slowly.
ああ、来た来た来た来た。早い早い早い早い早い早い。早い早い早い早い。あれ
We're starting to pick up speed. Move the reverser toward mid-gear. This reduces the amount of steam let into the cylinders and saves energy.
かなり音がね、うるさいんですよ。
Come to a stop in the indicated location.
次通過。これでも前がめっちゃ見にくいんですよね。ああ、この音がまたいかにも蒸気機関ですね。
Use the combination brake to apply some braking force and bring the train to a stop.
かなりでも振動がすごいですね、これ。おー、蒸気がすごい。機関車トーマスみたいな。おー。すごい蒸気ですね。なかなか。よいしょ。
Good work. That concludes all the basics of operating a steam locomotive, but there's still more to learn. If you want to dive into the specifics of how to operate a particular train, look for its training module in the training center.
ああ、終わった。金メダルで、手こずっとったから、ちょっと評価落ちましたね。ああ、次、あれみたいですね。アドバンスオペレーション。
In this training module, you'll be learning advanced operations of a steam train, as well as basic passenger operations in a Scania 8F steam locomotive.
石炭を掘り込む
When
人。
you're ready, set up the locomotive for driving. The reverser determines the direction of travel and how much steam is consumed as the locomotive moves.
はじめにこれを絶対75にせなダメなんですね、これ。
This locomotive has a combination brake that controls both steam and vacuum brakes. Steam brakes will apply on just the locomotive. Vacuum brakes will apply to the rest of the train, so long as it's equipped with vacuum brakes. To create a vacuum, you should use the ejectors. The small ejector should be left open when the train is running. The large ejector can be used to more quickly increase the vacuum after coupling or heavy braking.
この上のやつですよね。これがなんか触りにくいですよね。
Open the cylinder cocks to remove any water from the
で、
cylinders
あれをや
after
っ
the
てか
locomotive
ら
has been left standing.
この左下の
Water in the cylinders can damage the
こ
locomotive
れを
as
オ
it
ー
does
プン
not
に
compress like steam.
ひたすら入れてますよ。で、これを解除して
The regulator acts like the throttle for steam locomotives. It controls how much steam is delivered into the cylinders. Slowly open the regulator to apply some power. Power delivery is delayed in a steam locomotive, and applying too much power too early can cause wheel slip.
まあだから初めにこれを 75% にしてから小さいハンドルを左にしてでこれを前にしてこのブレーキ解除してあとは加速したらこの手順を覚えとったらまあ動かせますよね。前にもえらい煙が出てるんですね、これ。この蒸気ならではの音がまたいいですね。この音がまたこの上が鳴るんですよ、これ。ラッパみたいなのが。で、これをまた戻して、
We're starting to pick up speed.
おなじみのレ
Move the
バーを
reverser toward mid-gear.
25% に。
This reduces the amount of steam let into the cylinders and saves energy. Prepare to stop at the next station, ready to perform passenger operations. Close the regulator and gently apply the combination brake to bring the train to a stop
コ
at
ン
our
ビネーション
destination.
ブレーキ。 たすら入れまくってますね。この辺の車輪周りもまたリアルで、すごいですね、これ。うまいこと連動して。めっちゃリアルですよね。意外とこれ、流れを分かれば大体いけるもんですね、これ。手前すぎた。
Great work. To allow passengers to board, you will need to open the doors. Keep the doors open to allow enough time for passengers to board the train.
このまたドアが、扉式のドアなんですよ、これ。いかにも海外って感じの。
Now that the passengers have boarded the train, Now let's go to the next stop.
よっしゃ。この、ポッポポッポいうのがまたいいですね。これはこれで。このまた細かいところまで作り込んでるのがすごいですね。こういうとこまでリアルに動くところが。ちゃんとこう連動して動いてるところがすごいですね。刻印までちゃんと再現されてる。1934年らしいですね。 あえてこういうレトロな車両も出すところがいいですよね。めっちゃ古いですよね。ああ、止まりすぎた。やばいやばい。
Good. Close the doors.
ドアを閉めましょう。
Great job. That
素晴ら
completes
しい。
training on passenger operations in a steam train.
おー、これはプラチナでしたね。まだこれあるんですか。多分この石炭の補充とかするんですよね。
In this training module, you will learn how to refill this Stania 8F locomotive with water and coal before coupling up to a set of freight wagons.
あそこの下行っ
In this
て
steam locomotive,
石炭
the
を補充
water
す
and
るんち
coal
ゃうんす
needed
か。
for operation are stored behind the cab, in what's known as a tender. Firstly, you'll need to prepare the locomotive to receive water. Walk over to the water crane, where you will need to move the water hose over the rear of the locomotive's tender.
これでなんか車両を洗う感じですかね。ウォーターグレーンって書いてますけど。あれ何
Now the hose is in position, climb up the tender and open the water hatch.
ハッ
Insert
チ
the hose into the tender tank once the water hatch is open.
テンダータンクを開けなさいって書いてますね。これを開ける。で、ウォーターグレーンス。これを、あれこのまま、これをこっちにやって、掘り込んで、
The hose is in, and the tender tank is ready to be filled.
ガソリン
Turn
入
on
れ
the
てんす
water
か
and
ね。
start filling the tender tank.
オープン100。これでひねらなダメなんですね。水を入れてんすかね、これ。 水の補充ですかね。
Okay, now you need to fill the tender with coal. Move the train so that the tender is underneath the coal tower.
さあ、乗りますか。で、75% にして、リリースさ、今度これやるんだ。初めからなってんすね。よいしょ。ああ、これで石炭の補充ですか。ああ、なんか出てますね。
Great work. The locomotive is now fully coaled, watered, and ready for service.
大量の石炭が。
Now, let's couple to the wagons. This locomotive and wagons use a hook-type coupler. Once you're close enough, you'll need to manually connect them to the locomotive. Slowly, come to a stop at the buffers of the wagons.
ああ、今度バックするらしいです。バック75。ああ、これでバックもできるんですね。あれ。このでもカメラの切り替えがなんかもう一つ自分のコントローラーが悪いのかあれかわかんないですけど、反応が悪いですね。
You can couple either on foot or using the external camera.
強引にくっつけましょうか。さすがにちょっと離れすぎですかね。ちょっと離れすぎてますね。ちょっとだけ下がって、よいしょ。あれ、つなぎにくいな。 よいしょ。
Good work. That concludes this training module.
終わった。こういうなんかマニアックな作業も入ってますからね。単に運転するだけじゃないっていう。もうなんかだいぶ終わりまで行ったみたいですね。あれこれだけなんかな。車両もこんだけあるんですけど、結構ありますよね。全部入ってるやつ買ったから一応みんな入ってますけどね。これでだから2とか3とか持ってるデータがあったらもっともっとこう車両増えるんですよね。これだけでも結構ありますよ、これ。これ初めて見ましたね。これメトロリンクっていう。あれでもまだ、これのあれか。やったやつは、なんか全部チェック入るんですけどね、これ。一部なんか、違うやつが入ってないな。チェンジングエンザー、向き変えるやつですね。あとは車両ごとのなんか、やり方ですよね。今回でもなんかかなり細かくなってるような感じですよね。前ここまでなかったんちゃいますかね。レイルジャーニーズ。結構モードも多いんですよね、これ。これもなんか自由に車両の塗装のやつ変えたりとか、いろいろできるんですよね。これもなんか初めにアカウント作ってくれとか言われるんですけど、アカウント作らんでもできるんですけどね。 間もなく発売って書いてますけど。ほんまやったらこの車両も全部別売りなんですけどね。限定版買うとまとめて入ってるっていう。これもだからアカウントを作って、サインしたらなんかいろいろ作れたりとか、写真をなんか撮ったりとかできるんですけどね。よっしょ。さあ、一旦ちょっと寝ましょうかね。さすがに眠たなってきましたね。今から寝て、6時ぐらいに起きて、で、またちょこちょこやりましょうかね。はーい、お疲れ様でした。これはこれで面白いですね。さあ、ではではではでは。